What is it like living in Jaywick? Are you living in Jaywick? Have you lived there before? Have you met anyone living or who has lived in the town? Is living in Jaywick in your plans? Have you ever heard anything about this town? If your answer is yes to any of these questions, this video is for you. Even if you can't relate to any of them, you'd find this video informative as you think about your future plans. If you have lived in the town before or are living there, please tell us after watching this video if what you saw here represents your experience in the town. We now present the answer to the question, what is it like living in Jaywick? A crucial question. The village of Jaywick and its residents have been a centre of controversy in recent times. The village wasn't meant to be this at its founding early in the 20th century. The coastal village was a holiday resort that Londoners could be visiting for recreation and fun. The dream of businessman Frank Stedman came to fulfilment when he successfully built a village famous for its grid of what was called temporary chalets. Jaywick thus became a thriving town with low-cost and affordable homes that those working in London could buy. This was sustained until after the Second World War. When many Londoners lost their homes in the war, those among them with holiday homes in Jaywick were forced to move to the town. Unfortunately, this ward of Tendring District Council located in northeast Essex suddenly finds itself topping the list of deprived areas in England. Based on this fact, we need to find out what living in Jaywick is really like. Reputational consideration. As this town is not so popular at all with people online, it would be easy to conclude that it's going to be nightmarish to be living in Jaywick. It has a totemic reputation to contend with in the UK, having earned the unhappy distinction of being the first in those dauntingly named several editions of Indices of Multiple Deprivation. There are concerns about the safety of, especially property, among the people in the town. Others worry about the quality of homes. Still, others worry about crime. The town is also known as the home of a lot of drug addicts. Later in this video, we shall tell you why those concerns shouldn't be shoved aside by the back of the hand. There's surely some of the things living in Jaywick might expose you to. Before we reinforce that, however, we need to state that Jaywick is not just about deprived, bad, terrible, and all those negativities. It's not all bad. If you insist on living in this town, or you know anyone who has a cogent reason to, we can assure you that there are good sides to living in Jaywick. The good sides of living in Jaywick. If you're a property speculator or are looking to become a homeowner in Essex and you're on a budget, Jaywick is a perfect place to find a cheap property. If you don't mind living or investing in a very deprived area, folks are putting up homes for sale and the high supply of homes there is beating down the price. Some homes are on the market for less than £50,000. Besides the affordable housing, Jaywick has one of the county's most picturesque and nicest sandy beaches. The town is now a popular tourist attraction. In some other ways, it's just like any other coastal town. It has an amusement arcade in addition to its beach. Do you desire a town with a thriving community spirit? Jaywick is a very good example. Here people get on peacefully on a good day. They even look out for each other's welfare. If you walk along the seafront, you'd see families with inflatables observing the sunshine. The people in Jaywick are some of the proudest and friendliest you could hope to meet. Their sense of community will give you something to live for in the town. They'd help you even in distress. A man who runs an arcade and bar in the town with his family told us, "There is a small tight-knit community, but we do have our problems." He recalled a time when the town's public toilets were closed down. Residents on the seafront willingly allowed visitors to use their facilities. Everyday experiences you must contend with. Nevertheless, in your daily life in Jaywick, you must contend with certain nasty experiences. One such is petty crime. In truth, no one living in Jaywick can feel so safe here. Police are asking for more information to help them and their partners clamp down on crime and antisocial behaviour and protect the vulnerable people who are being exploited. But they're always in the local and regional news about Jaywick. We understand that as with any area of high density, housing any antisocial behaviour has a lot of magnifier effects. Meanwhile, there are many vacant sites there. These have become hideouts for hoodlums in the town, and this provides opportunities for antisocial behaviour such as the following. Burglary. Burglary is a fact of life to be contended with in this town. Residents are frustrated into believing that police don't want to stop it. It appears that young and energetic folks here are bored because they have nothing to do. That idleness pushes them into destructive activities such as burglary and gangsterism. There's a popular story of a woman whose shop was burgled within a month of opening it. A lot of dog items hung on the wall were carted away. This is not an isolated case, it's only the most widely reported. Another broad-day robbery incident relates to a young mom whose Alsatian pet dog was stolen as a puppy. Another citizen reported that a stone bench was stolen from outside her home. All of these are in the records of the police, whom the victims felt knew the perpetrators of the crime but wouldn't go after them. Poverty. Living in Jaywick is like living in poverty. You have to live among poor people here, and you are not insulated against poverty, as what is bringing them into poverty is staring every resident in the face. In this town, residents oftentimes have to choose between eating and heating. Here they're simply running out of money completely and brought into a situation where they have to choose between having something to eat and turning the electricity on. No wonder the controversial poll on ilivehere.com ranks it the worst place to live in the UK. This poverty state is not unconnected to a lack of jobs, connectivity, transportation and isolation. Please see our video about why Jaywick is poor to see more convincing reasons why living in Jaywick can be synonymous with living in poverty. Unsafe housing conditions. The majority of the original houses in Jaywick aren't quite habitable or safe. This is quite understandable. They were not built to be lived as permanent residences. The homes were originally built as holiday resorts. The town, as explained in our video earlier referred to, was not planned to be anyone's home. It was meant to be a village where workers could spend just a few days relaxing before returning to normal life in better homes. It was after many people's homes have been destroyed in World War II bombings that the holiday homes in Jaywick became the last resort. That explains why homes are very small and thin, poorly constructed along narrow lanes no one would love to call home. Many of them aren't properly insulated. While a pocket of better homes are appearing in the town, you're likely to live in some of those poorly constructed homes if you live in Jaywick. Drugs. Aiding crime in this Essex seaside town is the escapades of drug dealers. The town has become attractive to heroin and crack dealers from Liverpool and Manchester. There are drug dealers also from London targeting the town, though these have been brought under control to an appreciable degree. Recall that the town has a good number of vulnerable people among the jobless and the poor youth. These groups would likely appeal to these gangs. These syndicates are clearly experienced in their business and they find easy targets in Jaywick. Efforts to improve the area. The council is working assiduously with the government to tackle the problems of Jaywick, including the poor and unsafe housing conditions. They're also working towards developing a brand new housing scheme that'll utilise the land the council acquired around the existing village. The effort is paying off. For example, Tendring Council in 2020 received almost £2 million of funding for a market complex to be built on the site of the Sunspot Amusements. Please, we want to hear from you. What do you feel about living in Jaywick from what you saw here or knew? Kindly tell us. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment and turn on the notification bell. This is Learning Canteen.